I am so glad you are here today. And I just want to tell you what I know to be true about losing weight. Okay, I was 19 years old. I wanted to be a flight attendant, and Braniff Airways was hiring 19-year-olds. So I got on the airplane, went to Dallas, Texas as a young girl, and I walked in and said, I would like to be an airline hostess. And they looked at me, the supervisors, and said, well, you're really a nice person and you look good enough, but you're too fat. Oh, I knew I was too fat, but to hear it, I went crazy. So I said, well, what do I have to do? So they said, well, you can only weigh 130 pounds. I swear I weighed 180. Right. So I went home. I took diet pills, the diet pills from those days. I did all the dieting. I starved. I ate 800 calories and, I did make the weigh-in some months later. After starving, I even took X-Lax and water pills. Oh, you guys, well, that's just the honest truth. Then I went back, they hired me. I was so happy, but I had to stand on the scale every month and weigh 130 pounds. Well, eventually, I couldn't maintain that. I was doing a yo-yo, you know, the yo-yo. And I kept weighing more than less. So one day they said, we have to ground you. What? I lost my job because I couldn't maintain 130 pounds. Oh. All right. Then I got married, had 3 kids, and gained the weight all back. So now I went to work in Houston, Texas, in the medical center, and we were doing biofeedback. Biofeedback is, if you're managing your stress, there's an indicator. You put these things on your head, and it feeds back to you. It doesn't do anything to you. You learn to manage your stress, and instead of going bup, 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 for a lot of stress, it goes bup, 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 and you know you're managing your blood pressure, you're preventing headaches, you're managing your chronic pain, all of that. And one day I said to this great Dr. Axelrod, I said, do you think this biofeedback relaxation would work for losing weight? Just a question. He looked at me and he said, are you ready? I said, what? He said, are you ready to lose the weight? I said, I'm always ready to lose the weight. And then he asked me a question, well, what do you want for a body? And now I'm thinking, oh, he's serious. So I said, well, I'd be really happy with 10 or 15 pounds less. And he looked at me right in the eye. He was my boss and the head doctor. And he said, what do you really want? And I went, whoa, what do I really want? I don't even dare think about it. And so I said, what I really want? Calvin Klein jeans in a size 10 or even an 8. And white shorts so I can walk around the lake in Minnesota in the summertime without, you know. And he said, well, let's go into the biofeedback room. And I'm like, whoa, he's serious. And so we did. And he said, close your eyes and we're going to relax and I'm going to lead you in a process. I'm like, okay. And he said, now what do you really, really want? And inside myself, with my eyes closed, I said, oh, I want those Calvin Klein jeans to wear to the Houston rodeo. And I was like, oh, That would feel so good. And those white shorts, yeah. So he said, I want you to visualize that as if you are already that. And I was like, okay, I'll do whatever he says. So I visualized myself walking in those white shorts around the lake in Minnesota, and the tears were rolling out of my eyes out of joy that that could be possible. And then he said, now make a decision to be that. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to be that. 6 months later, I had 59 pounds less. Swear. And oh, I want to tell you exactly how to do that. Are you ready? That means ready to learn so that you don't have any starving. You can eat carbs. Swear. You can even eat chocolate every day. Because when I was in Switzerland, the Swiss said, well, do we have to give up our chocolate? I said, no, you must eat chocolate every day. And then you also eat what I say, and you'll lose the same as I did. Done. So, you know how we used to say in America, we say, well, what do you want, your cake and eat it too? I think that's a brilliant saying because we always thought, well, we can't eat cake, or we can't eat sweets, or we can't eat chocolate. But when we know we can have our cake and eat it too, we're willing to open up and say, okay, now I'm going to try this because I can have my cake and eat it too, says Mary. And I mean it. Are you ready?